What's up, everybody? Full Measures here, back with another Blu-ray review for the nerdmentality.com. This time with one from A24, the Lionsgate company that's releases some really great stuff like Green Room, The Witch, last year's Moonlight, which was just okay. Tons of stuff. They have a great lineup of films. Ex Machina, and then recently they have released The Florida Project. Something a little bit different for us to talk about here. Usually, typically, we stay in the horror or thriller genre. This is a nothing really happens slice of life movie.
Castle, Tamper. Yeah, sure do. $38 a night.
Okay, I warned you. One drip and you're out.
Oh, come on!
Out now.
It's gonna melt outside.
It's melting inside, too.
But Bobby,
Out. Thank you very much.
you're not welcome!
And I absolutely loved it. And it is directed by Sean Baker, who directed the film Tangerine, which I haven't seen, but I've heard decent things about, and it is definitely moved up on my watch list now. But yes, this is the Florida Project, starring Willem Dafoe and a bunch of other people who seem like they were just cast right off the street, which I love. It's my favorite type of casting. Always reminds me of Larry Clark's Kids and things of that sort, or recently American Honey. Which also I'm fairly certain came out through A24, which is another nothing really happens slice of life movie that I absolutely loved. But anyway, the Florida Project is essentially about being a kid and growing up and capturing the spirit of childhood. But it's also very dark, kind of depressing, and very, very trashy because this is Florida after all. And basically, it kind of centers around Willem Dafoe, who is he's not sleazy, but he's a motel owner, and his kind of day to day around the motel as he fixes it up. It's his Florida project. It's kind of how I interpreted it. And then it's also about one of these families that lives in the hotel or the motel, Moni and her mother and her friend, who cause mischief, and her mom is not that great of a person. Her mom is really not that great of a person. But her and her friends wander around Orlando, Florida, causing mischief. They get to hang out near International Drive, where Disney World is. So they're right in the shadow. They're in the white trash shadow of Disney World. And that's basically what this movie is about, just the day-to-day of these people. It's kind of like one of those movies where it's just like, oh, well, that's that scene, and that's that scene. And it does, they do connect, and there is an ongoing thread throughout. But, it's not necessarily a movie where you're on we're not going from point A to point B. It is, these characters are already on their journey. They are already on their way from point A to point B, and we're just hanging out with them between like M and N or something like that. So that's the kind of movie it is. When it's over, you're kind of like, well, I kind of want more, or you'll either really want more, or you'll be like, well, that was a waste of my time. I personally really wanted more. I enjoyed my time with the characters. I thought they were very realistically presented. I feel like I know most of these people in this movie, whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. You're definitely familiar with these type of people, whether you're from Florida or any other kind of, white trash area. Am I offending people by saying white trash? White trash, white trash. There's a lot of white trash in this movie. But yeah, it's great. Extremely vibrant. Gorgeous to look at. Very, very colorful, which is a nice kind of change of pace for some of the stuff I typically watch. You don't want to look away from the screen. Every shot just looks kind of like a cool painting. It's really cool. And then there's some great cinematography, actually, with like almost using the motel itself as a character as they kind of twist and bob and weave around the design of it while characters are talking and moving through the structure. It's all very, very well done. And if you like these kind of slice of life movies, I highly, highly recommend The Florida Project. I know Willem Dafoe is up for an Oscar nomination for it. I don't know if he'll win it. He's great in the film, but he's just playing a guy Which I guess, I mean, if you watch Willem Dafoe and he's usually like crazy in most movies, I guess him just playing a guy is a pretty good performance. But I mean, he's wonderful in the film, but he's just being a guy.
Boys, good morning. Yeah, you gotta go home. There's cars coming through here. We got guests. No harm, no foul. No foul. There's a joke in there somewhere. All right, fellas. All right. Have a good day.
Some of the other characters I think deserve more nods and nominations. I don't know what else this has been nominated for. I don't really care. I hope it wins something. It deserves it. It's one of my favorite films of 2017 by far. So yeah, I am super glad that A24 has released this and added another great one to their catalog. Anytime I'm looking for like a decent thriller or drama or horror movie, A24 seems to always have one that they've recently released or one that's on the horizon that I can look forward to and check out. So I highly recommend the Florida Project. The picture quality looks great as far as the Blu-ray goes. Sounds fine. I mean, it's a professional Blu-ray release from Lionsgate. It's solid. It comes with the A24 slipcover as they always do. And then open it up. You got your digital, which you can't see because it's mine. And then your disc. And then, it's a Blu-ray case and a disc. Nothing too special. Maybe it'll get a special release in the future. Probably not. But yeah, the Florida Project, directed by Sean Baker. Highly recommended. Check it out.